is up, Monsters? Real Monsters here, and welcome back to another video. Today, we're hopping back into Tales of Arise. We are trying to push to the end. I don't think we're going to be able to finish the whole thing for this one, but we are going to continue pushing because I can smell the end. I can smell it. I can almost taste it. Let's go. Dude, why is it fucked up? Damn.
What in the world?
This being Renin territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior, too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
It is.
I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself. Okay, Doe?
The red woman's not his friend, right? It's not that girl, is it?
So who's Faria?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danans poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two.
Alright, then we'll leave it to you
Danans
two.
among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
If this is another talk section.
Doe?
Okay, it's a cutscene. Okay.
Faria.
I shall allow it.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
What a bitch.
Sure,
I
that's
hope
it.
Alphen steps
Run
in.
away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Yep. Saw that coming. Yeah. Yeah. Saw that coming.
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true?
Sorry, I like you,
What she
Dohalim.
said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia,
What are you talking?
you
We know
mentioned
about
having
this
taken
already.
a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
In all honesty, though, one, we already knew about Dohalim's past. We already knew. So many questions.
Wow, this place is beautiful.
Yeah. It must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnigan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnigan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority, and introduced her to Tarnigan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagin and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagin had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagin was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less, she would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty, instead I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under an oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did?
We still would have rolled into
Anyone
town.
else
We
and
just
I
would
would
have
have been
killed
dead
him as
long
well.
ago. You've saved
she would
so
hate
many
us.
people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right.
Who the fuck is that?
Alphen,
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I still wanted to say thank you.
It's going well.
As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
Yeah, why are they called the Force Ones?
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Good job.
Here I come! This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it. I'll leave it to you. Now you see what I can do.
Illuminate the dark!
This one's all mine.
Oh my god, there's so much. There's so much shit going on.
Take this. You're finished. Now escape. Infinite's over. Stardust. Rising Wyvern. Rising Phoenix.
No more playing nice! Got you!
Here I come.
Here, let me help!
Now you see what I can do. It's over.
First aid!
You're mine.
It's time to finish this!
Oh shit.
Die! Consuming wildfire!
Holy
Here's a
fuck.
heart! First aid!
That was dope. Where did that come from?
Radiant repair!
That was so dope.
It's over.
Yeah, how come she hasn't been doing this before?
Sighted!
Here I come. I'm not done. Demon time. Try this.
What's this?
You're mine. It's time. You picked the wrong
Fuck
fight.
yeah.
I never miss! Dance in the wind!
In a bind, anything in armor is over.
Lock him up.
Raging cascade!
Rising Wyvern. I owe you one.
Corruption! Chill! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
Yeah. Flick sword. Consider yourself
He
finished.
really made us work for that one.
Okay. Nope. Sorry. I think I just went the wrong way. I wanted to go this way. Hey, what's up, guys? Nope, never mind. Didn't work.
Out of our way!
Didn't work.
Between heaven and earth! A showdown between blade and fist!
It's over. Here I come. Here I come.
Whoa, hey, whoa.
Take this. Rising Wyvern.
Sleep now! I need to pull myself together!
Take this. Do it.
Yeah.
Commander of Heaven.
Phoenix Cyclone!
Not a chance. Burn in hell. You're mine.
Now you see what I can do!
You're mine.
Now!
Kisara. Commander of Heaven.
Yeah.
Phoenix Cyclone. My turn. Here I come.
Do it!
Look sharp.
Yeah.
Lightning Tiger Blade.
Oh, this is dope.
With this,
Okay.
I can become even stronger!
I think this way. Yeah, it's this way. Alright, oh shit. It's not that one. Ah, it wasn't that one. Ah, they got me.
Out of our way!
They got me.
Dance in the wind!
Try harder.
Well,
I'm the true gunslinger around here. Your dreams!
Take this. Rising Wyvern. Take this.
Lightning! There!
I have no limits. Mine. You're mine.
I'll heal you all!
Demon Tank. Strike.
Dance in the wind!
You're mine.
Sleep now together!
You're finished. Take this. Demon Tank. Not today. Take this.
wailing Banthea lightning!
Explosive ring! We're not finished! Rise up! Rising Wyvern!
I never miss!
I can carve through all!
Now! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Raging
None
cascade!
can!
Confiscated!
Rocket shell!
Lunar eruption!
Mirage!
Back into this world!
Demon Fang! You're mine! Rising Wyvern! It's time!
Do it! Dragon shell!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
I need to be stronger.
Okay, yeah, we wanted this one. Huh.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
I'm gonna shove the sword into the wall.
Yes! It
Oh,
opened!
that's pretty cool.
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
So did everybody just see that? A little peek into my mindscape.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alvin was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion.
Heard.
I'm beginning to see why Alvin was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alvin.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp.
Okay.
After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Faria?
Oh.
How did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
Huh.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when...
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria to control noodles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master sword?
What the...
The shit.
Get our hands on that!
First we handle the Tubal. Then we get some answers.
Go for the weak point!
Now you see what I can do!
Punch in the butt.
Here's evil! Freeze
You're
Lancer!
finished!
Light astral energy! Lower that searing cloud! Illuminate! Thanks, Kisara!
You're mine! Rising Wyvern!
Mega Ray!
Here I come!
Come on, you son of a bitch. Come on, you son of a bitch.
Here's a healing arc. Not in your dreams.
I owe you one.
Chain between heaven and earth. Anything in order.
Boom. The moment when you realize only pain that you're really feeling is from yourself. Oh man, he's getting fucked up. Well, he's getting fucked up.
It's weakened.
I owe you one. I'm not done. Demon Fang.
A wailing banshee of lightning. That'll bring you down.
No escape. It's over.
Now in the groove.
Here I come.
Raging flame. Reload. Not in your dreams.
Come on.
This one's all mine.
Back into the fray.
No further. It's over.
Ready and ready. More with that hero. A chain between heaven and earth.
Eat
Do
them.
it.
Fuck yeah.
Banshee of lightning.
In an instant. Impact block.
Will this
Take this. I'm on. I'm not done. I'll smash you.
Healing
Demon Fang. Try this.
illuminate the dark. Only glimmer right.
Come on, shit.
Get attack.
Right. Watch out.
Try harder.
Whoa. 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 Whoa.
I'm not done.
Take this! These fists have got your name on them!
It's over. Demon Fang.
That's a spot!
Take this. Rising Wyvern.
Freaking does it!
Try harder.
Here's a rhythm
Take this. I'm not
This one's
done.
mine.
Ready and ready! Now you see what I can do!
Here, let's
You're
go.
mine.
I'll tear you apart! Ready to go here and now!
Prepare to be sealed. Ignite.
I'm on it!
Raging
Hurricane!
Thrust.
Like astral energy. Lightning.
He's getting fucked up, dude.
Back into the fray.
Rising Wyvern.
Almost there!
Not close enough.
Take it away, Ron. I thought you'd never ask.
Flame of fury. Thunder burning. Illuminate the dark.
You're mine. Demon Fang. Now, while it's reeling.
Take it down.
Come on. Come on.
That move.
Here comes the big one. Try harder. My turn.
Here's a healing
I'm not done.
Where you go?
I'm not done.
Lightning to death. Thunderblow.
Try harder.
Come forth.
Here I come. You're finished.
Take this!
Here I come. Ignite.
Swallow down.
Crush.
That freaking does it! I'm on it! Shattering the pieces! Attack time!
You're finished.
That's right! Talon Hurricane!
Oh man, this is almost too easy.
Here I come.
It's almost too easy.
More for the stockpile.
I really owe you one.
Raging cascade. Need to pull the
Almost too easy.
I'm on that energy.
Try harder. My turn.
Boom.
Instant. Impact block.
X marks the spot. Boy. That was nice.
Now it's just her! Varia, can you hear me? Varia!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more.
Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Dude, you just gut punched her. Why didn't she just shoot the fucking
Man,
thing
I
to
thought we
begin
were
with?
goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You?
Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
I love it when a team comes together.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible.
Who?
But that's why we're fighting.
Yeah.
To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already past, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, fuck. I just walked straight into another one, didn't I?
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
So it's what, only showing me my past?
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
Huh. Huh.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her, it reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
Okay.
I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records, by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. The composite being capable of controlling Danan astral energy, so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Danan. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the Master Cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait. I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only Sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns. neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the Sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a Sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that. Naori, I...
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Renan never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell. His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes. And this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me. And made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul.
Yeah. It's an odd way to end, but we are going to end this one here. If you guys like it, let me know down in the comments below. If you guys have any other recommendations, suggestions, anything else that you would want to see, let me know down there as well. It looks like we are going to finish this within the next video for it. So I'm going to try and push that out as soon as possible, just so we're not sitting on this game for too much longer. So yeah. So next video, we're going to try and push all the way to the end. I think we made a pretty good start. I don't think there's too much more, seeing as you're learning all about Alphen's past, and I will talk more about my thoughts of the game as a whole and everything like that when we finish, so hopefully next video. So leave a like on the video so I know you guys are digging the content. Also hit the subscribe button so we can do bigger, better things in the future, and as always, stay awesome.